Hello and welcome to DIY by the German guy. In today's episode I'd like to go over this Versalink C500 printer made by Xerox. It's a color printer, it has 2400 DPI, and today I wanted to show you some of the tips and tricks that I learned along the way so far. I've had it for about 2 weeks now or so. I'm using it to print out high quality images for color transfers onto wood or other DIY projects. So without further ado, let's get started. At first I'd like to talk about the paper options for the printer. So the printer comes with the separate feeder and the bottom feeder. This will easily hold a whole ream of paper. It extends so you can put in longer paper. I've got letter size paper in here right now. So that's my regular everyday go-to kind of paper. Oh, come on. Get in there. There we go. It's got these green buttons to make adjustments. Super easy to use. This thing is kind of intelligent. When you open the paper and you close it, after a second or so, let it warm up for a moment. Right here, it'll ask you what paper you just loaded. So right now it says plain white as the default option. You can change this to whatever other paper types you loaded. Letterhead, pre-printed, glossy paper, cardstock, envelope, whatever. But I usually keep this one on plain. And then if I want to do like a glossy print or transfer paper, I load those in here. This comes out like so. So then I have some, say I'm going to use some Waterslide paper. I've got two different kinds. I've got the Koala brand for transparent color transfer paper. And then I've got this generic ASAP whatever for white color transfer paper. The reason I need white color transfer paper is when I want to put this on darker materials, or if I don't want to see, like let's say I do a transfer onto wood, then I don't want to see the wood grain, then I use the opaque white paper, print on it, and it comes out just as if you're printing on white paper, whereas the transparent paper, whatever is behind it will shine through. So this will work well on lighter objects, or if you want the wood to shine through, or whatever materials you have, you can use a transparent paper. What I do is I load one of these sheets, and here's my first lesson I learned. When you put this in, like when you put this in, this might get jammed because of these two things. So what I do is I just remove these and then I pop it in, and then I can print it just fine. But here's the thing though. So now when I load this here, let me turn it back on. So now it'll ask me, what did I just load? And I usually have this pre-configured for glossy cardstock, which works well for these transparent sheets, and then I can print onto that. The quality is like super nice. So here's a print I did earlier, and if you look, I don't know if you can see the quality, but it is very, very good. The trick though, here's another trick, once we have this paper loaded, is to, when you print on the PC and you install this Xerox utility, you have to set the settings for glossy cardstock and photo quality mode. If you do those two settings, and then if there's any DPI setting at all, make sure it's set to 2400 DPI, then your prints are going to be near photo quality, and that's usually what I use for to print any of the color slides. Alright, so let's say I want to print this cute little Porg and make a Waterslide transfer out of this. So what I do is I make sure the dimensions here are set correctly. So this one is 2 by 4 inches or so. So make a little cute Waterslide sticker, and here's how we do it. So first I'm going to print this on regular plain paper. So I go to print, then make sure the Versalink is selected, preferences, and this will bring me up to the Xerox driver adjustment. So I got print quality standard, that's fine, because right now we're just trying to position it properly. Set to color, regular, and so here you see the paper is set to white, the printer default type. which defaults to the bottom drawer, regular white paper. So I say okay, print. Takes a moment to warm up, but then once it gets going, it comes out pretty quickly, and there we go. And it printed nothing. That's nice. Maybe I should position this over the paper. Alright, let's give this a shot. And there we go. The quality is very, very nice. I'm really, really impressed with this printer. So now what I do, I match this color transfer paper up to this. Cut it out the same size, approximately. Here we go. Maybe like so. Whoops. There we go. Let's take a little piece of tape, just long enough to stick this on here and hold it in place. You kind of want it to touch the color transfer paper as little as possible. Whoops. You want to cover it in the same spot where your cute little porg is. There we go. This should be good enough. Alright, there we go. And then we just put this into this right here and just print the exact same thing again. Send it through again. Oh, whoops. Wait. No. That's not what I wanted. Cancel, cancel. This is kind of nice. This little right here. Jobs. So you can cancel the job right from here, which is nice. Delete. Delete. Cancel job. There we go. Delete it. Okay. Good to go. So now it'll ask me for the bottom one. Let's see. Which is okay. The plain white. I'm going to go for the top one. And here's the magic. Make sure this is still set for glossy, which it is, glossy cardstock. Hit OK. And then when I print this now, I want to go to preferences, and then make sure you change the print quality from standard to photo mode. And the paper, if I select the glossy cardstock, it will automatically print from the upper tray. So those two settings, and you press OK, and then print. And now I'll print the paper from the top tray, which has my Waterslide paper on it. Puts it in nicely. And boom, there you go. One cute little porg on Waterslide paper. And the quality is just incredible. I'm really, really impressed with this thing. 2400 DPI. No mess with ink or anything. You can take this and slide it right onto whatever material or whatever you want to. So there you go. That's what I've learned with this printer so far. And I'm also going to go over how to clear a paper jam. But for that I have to haul this thing out. So let me close this. Then turn this thing off. I think if I just hold the power button it'll turn off eventually. There we go. Powering off. And I'm going to pull this thing out and open the back and show you how to clear a paper jam. Because first time was not that easy. It takes, this thing is beefy. It definitely takes some muscle power to try and clear paper jams because everything is very solid. It's like a pretty solid office printer. There we go. Now it's stopped blinking. Now it's safe to unplug. And I'll show you how the paper jam works. Alright, welcome to the back of this monster printer. So, paper jam. This thing opens like so. But now here's the trick. The paper usually gets jammed in here. Well, not usually, just if you're dumb like me and forget to put some odd-shaped paper in there or something. But usually, the only time I had a paper jam was when I, like I said, put in some odd-shaped paper after cutting it out with the scissors. So anyway, there are these two gray tabs, one here and one here. And you kind of have to push them in, push them up. So put your thumbs here, fingers down there, squeeze them, and then this thing will come out easily. But putting it back in, I found, was a little harder. So you got to make sure that these tabs line up with those two holes. And let's see, how hard is it? Oh, this time it was actually pretty easy. But yeah, don't be afraid. For one reason or another, the first time I did this, it was a little harder to push this thing in. It takes quite a bit of force, and then, but you'll know when it clicks in. And there you go. So remove this. The paper is stuck in here somewhere, or actually it was stuck here in the drum for me. And you just have to really muscle the paper out, or maybe turn the wheel or something. So you can turn this wheel here to get the paper out. But yeah, it wasn't super obvious, but it wasn't too bad either once you get the hang of it. But yeah, don't be afraid to use a little bit of force to get this thing back in place. Put it back together and boom, there you go. So then from time to time you gotta deal with cleaning this thing. It's got like the disposed toner. You just click here, open this. There are the four color drums for the 4 different colors. And then if you want to clean this, you take this little guy out, pop him in here. Oh, which way? This way. There you go. Do that a couple of times. And clean yellow, clean red, or magenta, cyan, and then black. Oops, there you go. Put this back into this little holder. There we go. Boom, that's done. And then this is like the excess toner cartridge. I guess it has to be cleaned out every now and again or something. Make sure you don't hold it the wrong way. As pictured here, you're only supposed to hold it this way, otherwise all the junk will come out. But there you go, so that's some of the maintenance. Pretty easy really. And then if we could only getting this in, I'm gonna make sure it clicks into it has like these tabs, so there we go. It clicks in. A little tricky, not too bad. There we go, I think. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, don't be afraid to use a little bit of force on this thing. Again, it's a pretty good office unit, very sturdy, not flimsy at all. Love it. So here is the most important tip. If you want to buy one of these, there are many different sources you can buy these from. You can buy directly from Xerox, but then you pay shipping, they give you 10% off or whatever. But I found at Staples, I went to staples.com, and many times they have like 10% off promotions for new customers or what have you. Just stick around a little bit on the staples.com website. You can get 10% off and free shipping. And that's how I bought this thing. And usually I decline extended warranties or whatnot, but at that price point, you can get, for 60 bucks, you can get an extended 3-year warranty. So you get the 1-year standard warranty plus another 3 years, and that includes like spills and that kind of stuff. So at this time, since I got $100 off, 10% off, I ended up going for the $60 extended warranty through staples.com. Pretty happy with the purchase. I have all the links in the description. Like and